Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to the summaries of 200 summaries. We are here on the book summary 4. I hope so. Last 3 book summaries are very clear. Let's get started. Let me share my screen.
Hi Akhil, good morning.
Good morning. Is my video and audio audible? Loud and clear?
Yes, audible.
Superb. Now, let me share my screen. I hope so you'll be able to listen some soft music in the background. Try to do that with complete focus on the book summary. Let us see how it is going to happen. Hello everyone, we are Leader Lifestyle Hub, a unique place for digital leaders to enhance every day. On this journey of 200 book summaries in a year, we are here at the summary 4. The name of the book that we have today is Your Brain on Music, written by Daniel Levitin. Let us see the small information about Daniel Levitin. Daniel Levitin is a neuroscientist, cognitive psychologist, and best-selling author. He is founding Arts and Humanities at the Minerva Schools at ACA. Now it is Minerva University in San Francisco, and Professor Emeritus of Psychology and Neuroscience at McGill University in Montreal. He is the author of This Is Your Brain on Music, The World in 6 Songs, The Organized Mind, A Field Guide to Life,
Akhil,
Successful
this music is very too much loud from your side. Background music.
Published in the UK as The Changing Mind. In the December 2021, Daniel released his second album, Sex and Math.
It's possible of this music.
Okay, just a minute. I will turn off the music. Let us see the targeted audience. The 16-year-old aspiring violinist who is sometimes frustrated with practice. The 54-year-old classical music connoisseur who enjoys sitting in his armchair and listening to the classics. Anyone who regularly walks around with headphones on the outside. Means if you are someone who walks with headphones on the outside, then this book is for you. Let us see the small synopsis. This is Your Brain on Music. Explains where music historically comes from, what it triggers in our brain, how we develop our tastes, and why it is a crucial part of our lives, along with what makes great musicians great. Let us see the small review. The content of this book summary taken from the resource of 4-minute books and other resources. Let us see the review of this book. Again, music is such a complex topic, yet it affects most people in the world somehow. Whether you are just listening to music when you are exposed to it, or wear your headphones every time you leave your house, learning more about music will give you a better understanding and make all your future listening better. This book is the perfect place to start to understand the music. Daniel Levitin is a man of many pursuits. He's a cognitive psychologist, neuroscientist, TED speaker, best-selling author, musician, and the record producer. But above all, he's dedicated to one thing: helping us understand music better. He is dedicated for helping us understand music better. This Is Your Brain on Music was released in 2006 and became a New York Times bestseller, having sold 1 million copies so far. It's a look into what happens in your brain when rhythm, pitch, tempo, loudness, and reverberation come together. Remember this point. It is a look into what happens in your brain when rhythm, pitch, tempo, loudness, and reverberation come together. This analysis won't only help you understand music better, it will also prepare you to become a better, more skilled musician in case music is your passion. As someone who loves music, I'm excited to learn more about something so simple. Let us listen from the Daniel Levitin. A bowl of pudding only has taste when I put in my mouth. When it is in contact with my tongue, it doesn't have any taste or flavor sitting in my fridge, only the potential. A bowl of pudding only has taste when I put in my mouth, when it is in contact with my tongue, and it doesn't have taste or flavor sitting in my fridge, only the potential. Here are the top 3 lessons about the neuroscience of music. Music is an essential part of evolution, not just a fad. Whether you like a song or not is based on your expectations and ability to predict what is next. Every song you hear leaves an imprint for future reference in your brain. Ready to look at your brain on music? Let us explore. Lesson number 1. You could not take away music without changing the course of history, since it is a part of our evolution. There is a small minority of scientists that argues that music only serves hedonic purposes. It is simply a byproduct of language and is only a pastime for us to feel pleasure. But that would mean that if you eliminated all music from the world right now, life would just go on as if nothing happened. Can you imagine that? If you eliminate all the music in the world right now, life would just go as if nothing happened. I know I can't, and I think you probably couldn't either. If so, then you will likely find yourself on the majority side of scientists who believe that music played a key role in our evolution and has paved the way for our human ancestors to develop speech. Music and speaking are quite similar. Music and speaking are quite similar. So it is possible that by practicing singing and making sounds, our ancestors could have developed the skills needed to later articulate words. Additionally, Darwin believed that music was a way of finding a mate for 2 reasons. Darwin is believing that music is a way to find a partner for 2 reasons. Singing and dancing requires you to be physically and mentally healthy. If you have time to sing and dance, your food and shelter are likely taken care of, which makes you a safe bet in the terms of survival. Looking at how musicians are idolized and many are considered the sex symbols of their generations, I had say Mr. Darwin's argument is pretty sound. What do you think? Music is a way of finding a mate for these 2 reasons, physically healthy and mentally healthy. Let us see lesson number 2. Music is all about expectations and how well you can predict what is to come. How much you like a song depends primarily on one thing: how well you can predict what comes next. Great musicians play with your brain and expectations in the way that they get you to expect something and then surprise you before taking you back to comfortable terrain. Great musicians play with your brain and expectations. Remember this powerful point. A great song surprises you, but not too much. It balances the familiar with the unknown and therefore creates the perfect mix of comfort and excitement. For example, many people sitting through a wedding service at a church will tear up only when this song playing. Here comes the bride starts playing, because then they know what is to come. So whenever they listen this particular, here comes the bride song, they able to know that the bride is coming soon. Another classic move is to suddenly drop the music, for example, in jazz, and have the singer prompt the band at certain points, like Justin Timberlake does here. There is also something called the deceptive cadence, which is when a song repeats certain patterns over and over again until you expect it to do nothing else. And then at the last chance, it gets an unexpected rhythm break or unfamiliar chord catches you off guard. Kind of like the rhythm switch in this electronic song, like we have played. However, it is important as a composer to not overdo this because it will wear the listener out. For example, the song Over the Rainbow does a great job by ripping the listener out of his comfort zone with the chorus part somewhere, but then the brings you back nicely with the rest of it. This is a powerful song, Over the Rainbow, which having a chorus called Somewhere. And it bring back you nicely with the rest of the song. You can check it out, these 2-3 songs. Here comes the bride, Over the Rainbow, Justin Timberlake. Let us see the third lesson. Each song you hear leaves an imprint in your brain, which is used for future reference. Memory is an incredibly complicated thing, but music seems to have somehow cracked the code. Songs are really easy for us to remember. Remember this? Songs are really easy for us to remember. Well, while many areas of the brain light up simultaneously during music, such as your subcortical structures, auditory cortices, and the hippocampus, and others, something unique happens the very first time you hear any song. Remember this? Something unique happens the very first time you hear any song. A certain set of neurons fire together and a unique, abstract, generalized imprint is created. This can then be called upon any future time you hear this song or a part of it.
ये देखना,
That's
कल
why,
चादर नहीं बिछाई है मैंने, पूरा सेट पूरा धो के,
just a
और
minute.
ना इसका ध्यान रखो.
This is called then upon any future time you hear the song or a part of it. That's why when studies looked at the brain waves of people when they listened to songs and compared them to when they were just imagining the song in their head, the patterns were indistinguishable. The resulting model is called multiple trace theory, and it suggests that our brains store both more abstract, like overall combination of instruments, rhythm, and melody, as well as more specific information like the slang words in the lyrics of the songs. That's how you can remember a childhood event from decades ago when you hear an old song or where you first listened to a song by your favorite artist. Let us revise the book summary. This is your brain on music. There are 3 important things about Daniel Levitin. He is the author of This is your brain on music, and he has sold 1 lakh plus books. Just a minute. There are 3 types of our targeted audience and 3 lessons that we have learned here. Music is an essential part of evolution, not just a fad. Whether you like a song or not, it is based on your expectations and ability to predict what is next. Let me showcase. Daniel Joseph Levitin is an American-Canadian psychologist, neuroscientist, writer, musician, and record producer. He is the author of 4 best-selling books, including This is Your Brain on Music, which is sold more than 1 million copies. Levitin took up guitar at the age of 20 and has been a member of number of bands. His bands are like 4-5 bands are listed here. You can do research on the Daniel Levitin bands, the Alcia River Band, the Mortals, Judy Garland, the Shingles, Slings and Arrows, J.D. Bull, bass and guitar. So these are the 4-5 bands that Daniel Levitin is doing that. So he is a music provider. Let us see the targeted audience of this book again. The 16-year-old aspiring violinist who is sometimes frustrated with practice. If someone of you are frustrated with the practice, then this book is a medicine for them. The 54-year-old classical music connoisseur who enjoys sitting in his armchair and listening to the classics. And anyone who regularly walks around with headphones on outside. Let us see the top 5 lessons from this book. Music is an essential part of evolution. It's not just a fad. Whether you like a song or not, it is based on your expectations and ability to predict what is next. Every song you hear leaves an imprint for your future reference in your brain. Music is a way of finding mate. Why? Because it improves your physical health and mental health. Each song you hear leaves an imprint in your brain. Whenever you listen any song, it will imprint some neurons fire together in your brain. That's what we learn from this book summary. This is your brain on music, and it is suggesting us to have the cool music for and to predict what is going to come next. Like he has given 3-4 songs. Here comes the Bride Over the Rainbow. Have a look on that music album and share your comments in the below. Thank you so much. See you tomorrow in another set of book summary. Until then, stay connected. Keep